Howdy, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday afternoon live stream here on the Tanner Holmes YouTube channel. Let us know how we sound. Let us know where you're watching from today. We have been doing these live Q&As quite often, and we really enjoy doing them. One thing to address real quick. Carly, unfortunately, is not going to be joining us for today's live. We were really hoping she could, but unfortunately, yesterday she woke up not feeling too good. She still raced, but she had a sore throat. She literally couldn't talk. And I'm probably going to address that a couple times here throughout the live Q&A for everyone that's going to be joining. Like I said, though, let us know where you're watching us from. Make sure the stream's looking good on our end here.
I think stream's looking pretty good.
Awesome. So we're going to jump right into it here today. We have a couple things to talk about before we get into some live Q&A, but we are just super excited to be coming to you guys on this Sunday afternoon to talk about some racing, talk about last night's crazy events and everything that's kind of been going on in our world the last couple of weeks, and then what's going to be going forward. So I think the first thing to address, Red Bluff last night.
Yeah.
Got it done, put it in victory lane. That feels so good to be standing in the center of Red Bluff Outlaws track. That's always a good night. Anytime you get to get interviewed, you get to hold the check. That's a good thing. Reading the live chat right now, we got a few people from New Mexico, Oklahoma, Orange County, New Zealand, North Carolina, Arkansas,
Mexico,
Missouri, Petaluma, California. We got Maryland, Missouri, New Mexico again, Pennsylvania. Awesome to have you guys all on here. Definitely make sure to give the stream a like. Make sure to share it with some of your friends. This is going to be fun for us to get a chance to answer some of your guys' questions. Like I said, though, Carly unfortunately will not be joining us here today. So to start off today's live, I think the main thing to talk about, like I said, Red Bluff last night, we got it done. We were able to win the A-main event for our first win of the season. It was definitely a hard-fought battle. We had to do quite a few things right. We had to make the right moves at the right times. And we unfortunately were able to lead all the laps to get it done. Red Bluff's a tough place. You guys have followed all of our vlogs, and it's just it's something else. You know, anything can go your way. Anything cannot go your way. And last night in the A-main event, fortunate enough, we were able to lead all the laps, do everything right, nail our starts, and get it done.
Yeah, I was looking at on the restarts there. The first restart, I was kind of holding my breath because you chose the bottom, and usually at Red Bluff, you don't choose the bottom on the restart. So you were looking really good. It was a little hairy once in a while.
It was.
You started figuring it out as the race went on.
Absolutely. We were able to change up our restart game a little bit and do things right to pull off the victory. And then we're actually, we're coming to you guys a little bit earlier than we normally do. We usually don't do a live this early in the day. We like to keep it around 3:30. We obviously have Super Bowl later today, so I wanted to try to do it before that. But Bennett and I, we're running on a little bit of low sleep. So here's how our night looked. So we had the race finish up, right? And then we loaded the trailer, probably spent an extra hour at the track, and then the family, we were all going to come home, but we have two vehicles because Bennett came up for the weekend. And obviously, since we won, we kind of want to celebrate, hang out, go watch highlights. So we went to one of our people in our little circle, their house, and we ate and watched highlights, like I said, hang out and everything. And we hit the road about 2 a.m. almost.
Yeah,
2 a.m.
It was like 1:50. We're pulling off on the on-ramp out of Red Bluff in my car. Yeah.
And it's a 3-hour drive home, and we made it in 2.5. We were flying. We didn't get past the whole way home. We were digging.
Yeah, we set a goal to not get passed by anyone on the whole way home. So we rolled in here, I think, around 4:30 a.m.
Yeah, that was almost a new record, 2.5 hours from Red Bluff to here. But that was fun. We had a little road trip there back to the house so we could get home for this live stream today and then prepare for the next couple of days of what we're going to be doing. So Bennett and I have a couple podcasts to shoot. We're going to have a new episode this Wednesday, hopefully with a pretty cool guest.
Yeah.
That's the game plan. And then we're going to have next week's episode, which will just be us by ourselves. And then after that, we're just going to be making some different content. Well, I believe road karting's open. We're going to do some fun things there. And a couple other videos we have on the list.
Yeah, we actually have some really cool guests lined up too.
Yeah.
People that are going to be racing in some big races in the upcoming weeks as well.
Absolutely. So you guys are going to stay tuned for that off the track. I think to touch on that, as we've said in the beginning of the last episode, it has been so much fun to shoot and try something new in that aspect of like talking long form podcast style. Even interviewing Carly and like the interviews we're going to have coming up. That's been so much fun. So hopefully you guys are enjoying that just as much as we are. And that's something we're going to continue to hit hard with. And obviously every Wednesday, 3:30 p.m., we'll be seeing you guys back here on the channel with an episode of that.
Yeah, no, the cool thing about Off the Track is I know when we originally started, Sorry if my voice is a little under the weather. Like we said, not much sleep, but like we said, it's definitely like a challenge. We thought that was going to be, we didn't know if it was going to be difficult, hard, or whatnot, and we found it to be fairly easy. So the whole process has been awesome. We've gotten a lot of feedback from all the fans and stuff. So big thank you to everyone who's been watching it and everything.
Absolutely.
And we hope you continue to enjoy Off the Track.
Absolutely. So one last thing to touch on before we get into some live Q&A, which is exactly why we like going live here, a chance to interact with you guys. I mean, we have so many people in and out of the live chat here. We have Mason, Ellie, Randy, Jesse. Keep dropping your guys' comments for sure. But upcoming race season, what's our season look like? We have quite a few races back at the Red Bluff Outlaws. And then after that, pretty much kind of get into our summer year. Bennett's Dwarf car racing is going to be starting up here soon.
Yeah, I think... it's coming up. So we're gonna scratch Kokopah down in Arizona, and then I think March will be our first race in Pahrump, Nevada. So we're getting ready for the first roll.
That's gonna be so cool to follow along with that. Obviously, Bennett's first season in the Dwarf car. Our sprint car stuff is gonna start back up at the end of March. Cottage Grove announced their first race as March 27th, and it will be a 360 sprint car race if we can have fans. Not sure if we're going to have fans. We'll see. Skagit also said they have some big news coming out. Southern Oregon Speedway has some big news. So a lot of cool things are going to be happening, and we're just going to have to see what happens this year. We also possibly have some cool opportunities in some other parts of the country. Maybe we'll be able to run some races, and I'll just keep you guys updated on all that. So let's jump into some live Q&A. Send some questions in the chat. Like I said, I've seen you guys been absolutely spamming it. We appreciate it. Channel members are in here, all the viewers, and we're going to get started.
Yeah, Marcus F. asks, Bennett, are there any traveling series with the Dwarf cars? And I guess if you want to look at traveling series, there's actually two that I know of that are very popular. There's the Speed Week with the ISCS, right?
Yeah. So that's six nights in a row.
6 nights.
They start at Coos Bay. We go Coos Bay to Cottage Grove to Willamette to Banks to 2 nights at Grays Harbor.
Yeah. And then the other series besides that's the whole year is the WSDCA series, which starts in Kokopah and ends in Marysville, goes to 4 states and 7 different tracks.
That's an incredible series.
That's like a 2-day show every month, except there's a break through April. I don't think we have a race in April.
Gotcha. That's super neat. Zach said, how is Carly? Yeah, there's a couple more people in here, so I'll address that one more time. Carly was not feeling too good this morning. She ran good yesterday. She actually won, if you guys didn't know. So I picked up the victory, but Carly also, so it was a little home sweep for the night. That's super cool. But Carly was, she was almost going to win her trophy dash. And she's like, Tanner, before she went out for the dash, because they do like an interview after, not after the A though, but after the dash, she said, Tanner, if I win this dash, you need to text the announcer and say, I can't do this interview, because literally she, she can't speak. She can't. And for you guys that don't know, I mean, I guess I've never really talked about it. Carly already has a couple issues with their vocal cords, unfortunately. And so it's super easy for them, to get strained or whatnot. And that's pretty much what happened. So if she was on the podcast or if she was on this show right now, she could be talking, just nothing would be coming out. So, but that is that. So Carly, unfortunately, won't be joining, and I'll make sure to change the title and the thumbnail of all this after. But Mo asked, Tanner, has your phone shut up yet, or has it been constantly going off? Yes. So this isn't it. This is my personal number, but our Tanner Holmes text line, that has been an absolute success. If you guys want to join it, 541-930-1822. I made sure not to have it in the room with me here in the shop while we were doing this, because it would just be dinging, but I've been doing my best to get back to everyone. I probably responded to 700 to 1,000 messages. Like, we've saved a ton of contacts. We have a bunch of you guys in the system. We really, really appreciate that. And I think it's been a hit so far. Like I said, it's just a great opportunity for us to connect with you. We sent out a mass text to a bunch of people for this live, obviously. Like, that's a good example. If you guys really want to stay up to date with what we're doing, you need to sign up for that. It's as easy as literally sending a message with your name. And, if you have something you want to say or a question you want to ask, like I said, I've been spending I'm going to try to spend at least an hour a day going through and responding to people, as well as, sending stuff out. So obviously I can't spend all day on it, but I'm going to do my best to try to get back to people as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool deal you got going on here. Jay Sherm asked me, he's a channel member. He said, am I going to run the Marysville National? And that's yes. I'm going to run the Dwarf Car Marysville National. Are we going to win it? I don't know. We're going to go for it.
We're going to send it.
Yeah, we're going to go for it.
Hey, and if you guys are going to be at the Dwarf Car race, make sure to come say hi to Bennett. I know we've seen a bunch of Dwarf Car, people that run Dwarf cars and stuff in the chat. And I always get people sending me pictures of their cars. And so definitely stop by and say what's up to Bennett. And then hopefully there'll be a couple races we'll be at the same track as well.
Yeah, hopefully like Speed Week. That would be sweet. I mean, if you, Carly, are running sprint cars on Speed Week and I got the Dwarf car,
it'll be pretty insane content. Mason asked, how many times have you raced at Western Springs? I have actually never raced at Western Springs before, but I would really like to. The racing there looks phenomenal. The New Zealand fans are incredible, and you guys just really, really love dirt track racing. This guy asked, Tanner, are you going to be at Williams Grove for sprint car racing in PA? And this is one of the more asked questions I get. People always ask about Pennsylvania and getting there. Definitely, that's one of my goals. And Pennsylvania obviously has incredible sprint car racing, but it's obviously a long ways for us. So we're just new to the 410 thing. Maybe once we get our feet more wet, we'll give it a shot. But I'm definitely going to have to go out there and get my butt kicked a couple times because like you guys in PA do not mess around for sure.
No, the sprint car, the 410 experience is just so cool, dude.
Absolutely.
Like, it's so much different than in the infield for that. I love it.
And also I think one thing we talked about a little bit, and like this is not a knock at like Red Bluff or Outlaw kart racing, but like after doing the sprint car thing more and more, it's not that, it's just how different the Outlaw kart stuff is. Obviously there's like a lot more yellows. It's a little bit different racing, but like when we were at Arizona, you know, there's guys finding different lines. There's guys running different deals, different throttle control, how they pound the curb, all these different things. And in the karts, it's just a little bit different. There's not as much changing. It's kind of the same thing every week.
I think what brought that up too is, I think we can touch on this for a second. So at Red Bluff this weekend in qualifying, the was the roughest we've ever seen a Red Bluff track, at least in the last 2 years. And so
I think from my standpoint, I think ever maybe. It was
for
pretty
qualifying.
close.
It was pretty bad. So the track was super rough and technical, and we actually had a curb like going into the heat races until they did some track prep on it. I don't think it was Brandon's fault because Brandon said he was trying new things, and that's just
they're just trying to keep the track wetter, which actually which you would think would be fine, but since it was wet, it just like got clumpy and
But the thing we're talking about is a technical track for sprint cars is awesome in a sense.
Absolutely.
But for the Outlaw karts, it's just really not optimal. And then, you know, it's then at the same thing where it's like, okay, this is the same track every weekend. So
I mean, I think like the technical tracks we like in karts, it's just Red Bluff. It's technical, but it's just like a different deal. It's not it's not like you know, trying to find different lanes and trying to make different things happen. It's like, all right, this is how you run it. And you got to figure out how to run it a little bit different every week, depending on how the track's different. Because one thing that's interesting about Red Bluff, if you guys didn't know, it's in a building. So they have to take it in and out at certain points during the year. So the track might be the same for 3 races. And then the horse people come in and they do a rodeo or whatever they do. And then they have to take the track out and then they have to put it back in. And obviously they probably have all their measurements and their lineups, but at the end of the day, things don't come back the same. It's just how it is.
Yeah. A week before last night, the ground was packed flat and it was a bull and gelding sale. So.
Yeah. So that's kind of what we're
dealing with. It wasn't as banked as usual either.
Absolutely. Yeah. You guys will see that all in tomorrow's vlog. It's crazy how actually different it was. And that's one of the biggest things we touch on. So, let's see. Mason said, I'm racing this year for the first time. Any tips? Mason, I would recommend getting as much seat time as possible. Seat time is everything in racing. The more chance you get to get more laps, you're going to be more comfortable. You're going to be more confident. And overall, that's going to make your experience better. So seat time and maybe just work on being calm and being smooth. I think as like a new racer, it's so easy to get overwhelmed. But just remember, man, like this is just a starting point. Go out there and have fun and enjoy it. And don't really worry as much about like results, I would say.
Yeah, I would say just go really start to have fun with it. Don't beat yourself up if you're not the fastest, but you'll get there someday. And like I said, just have fun. It's your first season.
Jacob said, can you run non-wing, Tanner? We want to do some non-wing stuff eventually. It looks like a lot of fun, man. So many guys, obviously, there's so many incredible drivers in that area, and it's much different than wing stuff. So we're going to give it a shot eventually. I don't know exactly when, though. And you guys got to comment. You got to comment at my parents because they're not the most stoked about me wanting to run non-wing.
I think non-wing's sick.
You know, but it's a pretty unique form of racing, in my opinion. Sam said Ohio has a really good 410 racing also. Sam, that's one of the big things we've been looking at. I know there's Ohio Speed Week because for us, like being this far west, you know, we want to try to go hit as many races as we can as possible if we're going to head to the Midwest or something. And so I kind of feel like a Speed Week in, you know, Ohio Speed Week, for example, will be maybe a good opportunity. So we're definitely open to trying to get to that state and trying to race because of the incredible racing there. And then also the opportunity to run as many races as we can. So stay tuned on that.
Mason Sassaman asks, do you like the sprint car or the Outlaw kart more?
I would say they're both fun. I always kind of give it the answer of it just depends, man. It's such racing in general is a love-hate relationship for me. So like Red Bluff, for example, some weeks I hate it, some weeks I love it. Like last night, obviously loved it. The other 6 weeks, I don't know how much I really did. And then sprint car racing can be the same thing. You know, I think it depends on the season and how it's going. So if we're doing good in the sprint car, you know, there's no reason to go back to the kart. But if we're struggling in the sprint car, it's like, man, is Red Bluff going to roll around? We go do something different. So overall, though, I like both of them. No complaints. They're both unique in so many different ways in how they race. And I still like to come back and run karts, but we're definitely trying to focus more on the sprint car and bigger stuff, obviously, now as I get older. William said, who is a better with a wrench, Tanner or Carly? Man, you're really putting it on me there. I'd say Carly's a little bit, she's definitely better naturally with the wrench. I've definitely got closer and closer to her ability as I like work harder to become more mechanical and smarter with the car and everything I do. So it really just depends, but I definitely am much slower than her because I have to like take my time to be smart with it, not make mistakes, think things through like 4 or 5 times, where Carly's kind of like, all right, we got to change the front axle. Bennett, get out of the way. I got it, you know? So,
Jesse Lindsay asks, do you plan on running Chili Bowl in the next year or just a midget race in the next coming year?
I'm not sure, man. I think I would like to run the Chili Bowl if we could. It's just, it's tough to get it all figured out. And,
well, I think one thing you mentioned too is you don't necessarily want to jump your first midget race right into the Chili Bowls.
Yeah, I want to get some practice. I really want to get some practice for sure. I think it's really tough when you just show up and you get 3 laps of hot laps and then you're right into the car. So
especially with a prelim night being so strategic, you can't laugh.
No, if you make any mistakes on your prelim, you're buried. And I mean, don't get me wrong, your first Chili Bowl's a little different. I think you kind of go there with different expectations, but I think we're also competitive. Like we want to do as best as possible. So if we can make the Saturday night A or you can make the Saturday night B or C, that's a pretty big accomplishment. Mr. Chill said, what QRC frame do you ride now? Spitfire or Area 51? So for anybody into Outlaw karts, let me explain a little bit. So what he's asking, the bottom frame. So Outlaw karts are a little different. It's like sprint car, you have like one frame, right? Well, the Outlaw karts have a frame and cage kit. So, and that's held on by like receivers and springs and all that together. So my bottom frame right now that I'm on is actually a Spitfire. That's QRC's newest frame design. That's what the house karts are on. And we've been switched over to that for probably this our 2nd season now. I really, really like it at cycling. It obviously runs good at Red Bluff. The results prove that. And then my own car that I run, just because it's not updated, is an Area 51. So if you ever see me go to Roseburg, that's just our Area 51. And the only reason we haven't switched over is we don't really have a reason to, because it's not bent. And we only run the car just a handful of times a year. But QRC Spitfire, if you're getting into karts, it's definitely a great way to go. Lance said, what time is it where you're all at? It's 12:49 right now. So we're on West Coast time. And I know that's one thing that is kind of confusing when we're uploading videos or going live. Like people will say, I'll say a video's up at 3:30 and people are like, it's 6:30 where I'm at. It's not even up yet. So it's, Gavin said, are you going to post a video of last night's race? Absolutely. Tomorrow it'll be up. And then next question, have you ever caught on fire? And honestly,
we both have.
Yes. Yeah. You go first.
So I think the car we both have caught on fire in is my race car at the same track. I've caught a fire in my Sunrise car, which is just like an Outlaw kart converted for asphalt that we ran at Brandon's track, Sunrise Speedway. I won a dash on fire. My arm was on fire. And then when you ran it.
Yeah, I like, well, it wasn't like as bad, like flames or whatever, but the engine was getting so hot, it actually burnt my arm, like like 1st or 2nd degree burns. And it was bad.
Yeah, my arm had like a hole with fire.
Yeah, like
it burnt.
and since it was an endurance race, so like we're racing, imagine this. So your arm's like resting on the motor like this. And I mean, you can't stop, because if I pull in, we're going a couple laps down, and we're there to take the big money home. So we stayed out there. But Brian said, Bennett, why are you not racing in Kokopah?
So I think it would be smart for my team not to, just because it's not that I'm not confident to go out and race my first race at Dwarf Car National. It's just, is it that smart to go all the way from Redding, California, all the way down to the dang near Mexican border
100%.
in Arizona, just to maybe run the back of a D main or something. So
yeah,
I think it's smarter just to get some laps under my belt before
at like a good local show or something. And we talked about Coos Bay, one of our local tracks, might have some races coming up, Southern Oregon. And like, that's a chance to go out there. There'll be 15, 20 cars, a great field, talented drivers from the Pacific Northwest. And it's going to be a chance for you to get laps and then really, figure things out before going to just a national event.
Yeah, and especially going that far for it as well. But someday we're going to be there next year for sure.
Someone said, my brother has Outlaw tuners, which is 4 cylinders, and he will let you throw his key in if you throw yours. That would be awesome. We want to run some 4 bangers one of these times. Absolutely. Especially if it's close to home. That'd be even better. Tanner, we ever race at Cedar Lake? And this is funny. So I didn't realize a whole lot about the Cedar Lake Speedway. I didn't know much about it besides I ran on it on World of Outlaws 2010 a couple of times. But it's crazy how many fans there actually are in that area. Like this is one of them. This and PA. I mean, PA obviously is asked the most, but Cedar Lake's a track that obviously is very popular. So we would like to get up there. I know the IRA sprints run there quite a bit, and that's a chance to run a good 410 series in that area. So maybe you will see us up there.
To touch on that, I think I just saw on social media, Woo posted a post and they said try to get some buzz stirring around this. They want to remaster Sprint Cars 2002,
which would be cool.
Which would be like, updated to a current console.
Incredible. If that happens, I'd be stoked.
Hopefully, it's not like a NASCAR heat handling 100%. Style game, but more of just like a classic, like hard to control type deal.
Absolutely. Scott says, go to Knoxville. We would like to make it to Knoxville, the sprint car capital of the world, at some point this year.
Mo, your channel member, asks, would you rather race Knoxville or Port Royal?
Ooh, man, that's tough. I'd probably say Port Royal. Port Royal looks like it races a little bit better, but Knoxville's incredible too. Mm-hmm. You're picking like 2 of the best tracks in the country.
I think if I'm gonna look at my top 3 tracks that I think would be like the ones I have to pick between, Eldora, Knoxville, and Port Royal.
100%.
I think I'd go with Port Royal.
It doesn't really get much better than that. I mean, one thing that's cool about Port Royal is how racy it is. I mean, every race, you don't watch a boring race at Port Royal. You really don't. So you guys are in for a treat for sure with the local track you have if you're from PA. Let's see. Ellie said you should come to Bridgeport Speedway in New Jersey. Bridgeport looks like a lot of fun. I know that there's a lot of modified stuff up there, big block stuff.
Jesse Lindsay asks, thoughts on Larson running late models, and would you run one day? And I'm going to add on top of that, what are your thoughts on him winning by 15 seconds?
Incredible. Larson winning by 15 seconds is a statement and a half, I think. And it's just, it just goes to show how superhuman he is. But I think it makes it look so easy almost, like when it's really so challenging. So the late model guys are incredibly talented. There's plenty of good drivers in the field. It's not like he went out there and beat some donkeys. So that was insane. But on the flip side of that, I would love to try a late model. Hopefully, man, maybe I can talk a local Pacific Northwest guy into letting me get in their late model.
How about just a little mention? How about Joey Logano? Did you see Joey Logano's car after he ran?
Was he good? I didn't even watch it.
So I think he finished 3rd, but the car was destroyed.
Oh,
and it was like a little.
You're done
if he hit someone or not. But
dang. Tim Cullen joined as a channel member. Thank you. For anybody watching, if you guys also like to, if you want exclusive content, that is exactly what we do over there. We do live streams, we do videos behind the scenes, and that's just another way to support our race team if that's in your interest. We appreciate that. On to the next question. John said, Tanner, you coming back to Arizona? I think there's a good chance. We actually really enjoyed the hospitality down there, the racetracks, everything about it. It was such a treat to be down in that area. So hopefully, whether it's that track or some of the other places down in the great state of Arizona, we will make our best effort to get back down there.
Sam Osborne commented, they love the new hauler.
Oh, and awesome.
I got a question for you for everyone that asked this. When are we going to see a hauler video?
Coming soon. Probably this next week. I got to figure a couple things out, but I'll do my best to get it to you. Biggest thing is I need to finish. I've cleaned it up, obviously. Like the trailer's clean. I need to make it a little bit better.
Yeah, Arizona got her a little dirty.
Arizona did, and the biggest thing I want to go through, like I said, not even necessarily the cleaning side. It's clean. It's just I need to go through and reorganize some stuff so I can, properly show you where we're going to keep everything as we figure all that out. So Marcus F said, is Kyle Larson a cool dude in person? Absolutely. He is. He's a great guy. We talked for, a good amount when he was at Red Bluff, and his son Owen is obviously a heck of a wheelman. So that's always super, super cool to get the chance to be teammates with him. Obviously, he was in the vlog, but Kyle's just a down to earth dude and just a heck of a wheelman.
I think you got a new channel member.
Yeah, let me find that. Let me scroll up here. Oh, it's Fluke 3Y. Thank you so much for joining as a channel member. Heck yeah. You guys are killing it in the chat today. We got over 200 people watching on this Sunday afternoon. I wasn't sure what to expect. I saw a couple comments. I knew we weren't going to talk about this too much, but Super Bowl today, obviously a big day in the country. Bennett and I, newsflash, we don't know much about football. I hate to say it, guys.
Yeah, no disrespect, but the one thing I learned about football in the Super Bowl is that just means it's a week till Daytona. Yeah. So that's all I know.
Heck yeah. No, it's funny. We were joking. We started talking today about it, and Bennett's like, who's even in the Super Bowl today? And I was like, maybe the Patriots. I don't know.
I was like,
the Chiefs are in it, and then maybe the Buccaneers. I don't know. So we were trying to figure that all out.
Well, I think the World of Outlaws are running their makeup race today, so that's what my eyes are on.
Oh, absolutely.
Isaac Miller, one of the channel members, asked you, what sprint car frame do you use?
KPC. So we go through KPC. There's so many sprint car frames out there, but we really enjoy their customer service. They're right here on the West Coast. But I mean, you can count on 10 different hands, how many sprint car frames you can go to. Some people create their own, some people do their own deal, but overall, we're super happy with what we have at KPC and what they provide for a product. Rival Turtle said, I'm looking forward to the NASCAR season, and Cup guys are coming to Bristol Dirt.
That's going to be
that awesome. Is going to be so interesting.
That's why we're seeing like Joey Logano. I think I saw someone else doing it. Chase Elliott's running,
trying
midgets.
To get experience.
I think all these guys are starting to jump into the dirt world. And it's kind of cool to watch them come up and realize, like, hey, these old dirt guys are good. I feel
like that's why some of their, like Rick Hendrick, for example, I feel like they're not probably the most comfortable green lighting them to try these other forms of dirt because obviously the risk of being hurt, so much money behind them, all that. But they kind of have to because, I mean, that's a big deal to run that Bristol dirt race.
Well, shoot, if you win that race, you're locking it in the playoffs. So,
yeah, that's a big deal. And, I think a guy, I mean, let's be real. I think Larson is going to be killer. Bell. I mean, I think the dirt guys are going to really know what's up.
I think if I'm going to go for a pick, though, I'm going to have to go Larson on that one all day.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Cole said, any track you want to go to in California? Hanford looks like a lot of fun. It looks like one of the larger tracks down there, super slick, super wide. And I know that it seems like they've been recently under some new ownership over the past couple of years. So there's a good chance I hear it's, it's turning into one of the best tracks in California. So maybe we'll get down there for one of their bigger events. Anna said, Tanner, do you plan on coming to Lincoln Speedway with your 410? Man, Lincoln is another track in PA that looks like a blast. And I try to follow all the highlight stuff from everything that runs there on a weekly basis. And it always just blows my mind away how good the competition really is, in Pennsylvania. And especially how the tracks even run against each other and the competition's still that good. So too bad we don't have something like that here on the West Coast.
Channel member Tim Cullen asks, who's your favorite sprint car driver?
Favorite guy. I really enjoy watching Sheldon Haudenschild. Not gonna lie, just for the price of admission. Like, dude, that guy is a gasser. He's up on the wheel, and he definitely puts on a show. Yeah, what about you?
We all know Corey Eliason.
Bennett's a big Corey Eliason fan. Corey's gassed up. It's so incredible. Like, once you actually do go to those races, like, obviously we competed in it, but watching those guys rip around, like, they're literally the best. Like, it doesn't get better. Like, it's crazy. Every single person in the field is incredibly talented, and it's almost like being at an outlaw kart race in the sense, like, outlaw karts, people will be like, they race so close and they're sliding each other and they're not giving each other any room. But by the time you're in the 410s, they do the exact same thing, except you can't touch. It's actually unbelievable.
Landon 15 asks, would you ever consider becoming a 410 outlaw full-time or all-stars full-time?
I think the step that you would take, I guess, if you were trying to move up would be to go to the all-stars first, a chance to, like, figure out what it's like to be on tour, get that experience of racing. And because, I mean, it's in, we get tired after one speed week, but these guys are doing it 95 times a year. So, I think you got to figure out if that lifestyle's for you, and a good way to try that is the All-Star Circuit of Champions. It's not as much traveling. I think there's a couple less races than the Outlaws, but the Outlaws is the real deal. So if you're going full-time Outlaw, you are committed, and you're going to have a pretty busy year ahead of you.
So someday we'll see you there.
Hopefully. Absolutely. Someday. Oh, this is a good question. A series I've always wanted to get to. Someone said, would you race in the USCS? So USCS is more like a South, let me get, so Southeast, they race a lot of 360 stuff. I think they had one of their first races of the season. Mark Smith won it this last weekend, but USCS is cool because I like all the tracks they go to. They go to like a lot of like kind of back roads tracks, like some of the tracks we went to at the end of ASCS Speed Week, like, just places that are in the middle of nowhere, literally, in race, and still get a pretty decent car count and a great chance to run some 360 stuff. So Mark Smith usually dominates down in those regions. Tim said, well, I'd say you guys are both fantastic driver. Hope to see you back at Lucas Oil. Thank you so much, Tim. We hope to make it back there as well. Levi said, any tracks you want to race in Michigan? Levi, drop in the chat. What tracks are there in Michigan? Honestly, I don't really know. I think there's I-96. I think that's the only one I know of, but I don't know if it's in Michigan or Wisconsin. But that place looks really neat. If that is in Michigan, that's the track I would definitely say. Robert said, Tanner, do you have any plans of running Chico at Silver Dollar? Chico's pretty close to us, so there's a chance that we'll make a trip there. Bennett, though, I mean, there's some dwarf car stuff there, isn't there?
I think what sucks is with this, so with the schedule they just released, and I think with the COVID stuff, they have the Silver Cup, which they don't have the Mini Gold Cup anymore, but the Silver Cup is kind of like a big 360 show.
Yeah.
So that would be cool to see you race there. And then I think the dwarf cars are the supporting class for the Silver Cup.
But they do they not run much on a weekly show or anything?
Oh, gotcha. So that's more of like a Marysville.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Okay. Yeah. But so hopefully we'll get down there to Chico, and also we'll have Cycleland a couple times this year, I'm assuming. As Carly's now running some more sprint car stuff, we're not going to do as much Cycleland, but there's a chance we'll also be 10 minutes down the road as well on a couple Saturday nights. Levi said I-96 Speedway, Crystal Motor Speedway, Merritt, Hartford, Tri-City. That's awesome. Yeah. So I-96 is the track I want to go to. That place looks pretty unique. I've seen some highlights from there, and overall looks like a lot of fun. Tyler said, you need to come to Port Royal. We will be there eventually. Tanner, do you like 360 sprints or 410 better? Honestly, I wish we had 410 stuff here. I think it's cool to, like, once you get to the top of the line of racing, once you do that, not saying there's no reason to go back down and run a 360. There's obviously plenty, but it'd just be cool to, really get a chance to focus on that. And unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of 410 stuff out here besides when the Outlaws come through, which the Touch On Skagit announced today, 3-night 410 race in September, World of Outlaws, and it pays $25,000 to win the finale. So that's going to draw in a pretty large crowd at Skagit.
Are we running it?
Oh, I think that's the game plan. We got to. Skagit's one of our favorite tracks, and to get a chance to run the 410 that close to home, it'd be pretty hard to refuse.
I just had a question here. Let's see. Oh, do you ever plan to come race at Humboldt Speedway? Then Instigator Racing asked.
That's actually funny. We were looking at the schedule. I believe the All-Stars go to Humboldt, and we're going to try to hit it. So you might be in luck. We'll keep you updated, but there's one weekend. So because you can run a couple All-Star races and then run the end of ASCS Speed Week. So I don't know if we'll run all of ASCS Speed Week this year, but we're going to try to run a couple All-Star races, then go tag the end of ASCS Speed Week, which is like at some really awesome tracks like 81, Lakeside, I believe even Caney Valley, which Caney was a pretty cool little bull ring. I need to get a little better there. So we'll get it all figured out, and we'll let you guys know as soon as possible. Haley said, Tanner, take the wing off your 410 and come to Paragon in Paragon, Indiana. You non-wing guys in Indiana are absolutely incredible drivers. One of these days we'll take the wing off. Like we said earlier, we will eventually.
Someone keeps asking here. Parsons keeps asking, when are you going to do a fan mail opening again? And then with that, you guys can send us your merch.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, I'll probably do another fan mail opening soon. I kind of strayed away from it a little bit just because honestly, I'm not going to lie, I totally forget. Just been so busy lately. But like Bennett was saying, if you guys would like to send us your merchandise, I don't know if it's in the description, but I'll put it in after, but it's in a couple of my other videos. You can send us your merchandise to wear like right now. For example, I mean, I'm not wearing someone's merch, but in a couple of my videos, the last podcast I wore, someone that sent us their merch, it was like a flat cart, which was a very nice t-shirt. We both wear size large. Send us that, koozies, hats, whatever you want us to put on set. And we love to rep you guys and show our support in that way for you. It's pretty neat. Karen said you should come to Montana again this summer because we have you guys have 1 foot of snow right now. That's crazy. Yeah, Montana gets a ton of snow.
Yeah, I think I had a foot, or not a foot, like a couple inches at my house last week.
And that's in Redding, California. We had like 6 inches here.
6 inches? Nice,
yeah, I mean,
nice.
I don't mind the winter. The winter's fine. I mean, we like the summer though. It's better to go racing, and I'm more of like the heat instead of the cold,
Yeah.
But Someone said, Tanner, are you going to come to Wisconsin and race? Yeah, we touched on that a little earlier. IRA sprints run up there in Wisconsin, so possibly you'll see us maybe run some IRA stuff. That's a pretty good little series.
Jacob Diaz asked what tracks I plan on running in California.
Yeah.
And I think as of now, it's probably going to be Marysville. I would run Silver Cup, but I think it's like this weekend or next weekend or something. And then Susanville, Wairika, everything down south. Antioch.
How far is Susanville from you? Because I know that we went through there on our way east, but there's a pretty good little track there.
Yeah, Susanville, I think it's like Canyon Speedway or something like that.
Gotcha.
Don't quote me on that. But it's like probably like an hour, maybe hour and a half from me.
That's awesome. Absolutely. No, that'd be super cool. It's always fun to get to new tracks. We're always a big fan of that. Someone said, are you coming back to Kansas and racing? That is the game plan this year, to be back in Kansas at some point. Anna said, if you come back to Lincoln, I'll definitely buy a pit pass. Would love to meet you. We would love to meet you too. If you guys are anybody watching this, goes for any track we're at, come by, say hi, preferably if you can after the races. But if you want to come during the races, that works too. It's just we have more time to chat afterwards
yeah.
and, really talk to people because we love to hear your guys' stories, how you got into racing, how you found the channel, if you follow along with us and all that. That's super, super cool to us. Wretched Band said, Tanner, do you know who Jeremy Schultz is? That name sounds pretty familiar. I don't know exactly, but it does sound familiar.
Sam Spade asks, would you run a half mile like Eldora?
Absolutely. Half miles, in my opinion, are the most fun. I think we don't have a lot of them here. So it's like one of those things when you don't get a chance to run a lot of half miles, they're even more fun to try out. So we want to get on some half miles for sure. The more, the better, because especially the farther you go east, there's a lot more of them. So, you got to become good at that style of racing. I feel like even in the short amount of races we've ran on larger tracks, we've really shown that like we got a good package for it. So we're going to continue to improve on that into the rest of the 2021 season.
I think that style really fits your driving style as well. Like bigger track for sure. Like
the smaller tracks are tough. Yeah. And it's weird because we grew up racing Red Bluff, know? So when you grow up racing Red Bluff, you would think like boring, but in a sprint car, it's a different deal. And I just don't really have the aggressiveness in me. I've never been like the most aggressive driver. So on those little boring tracks, you really got to be up on the wheel. It's incredible. Jacob Diaz says, I'll let you guys drive my hobby stock in Susanville this year.
I think he messaged me and I saw the car. It's a pretty nice car in Susanville.
Might have to be pulling double duty when you run Susanville or something.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. Let's see. Rice said, can you come to Hobstadt, Indiana and race? Yeah. So that Hobstadt is a unique track as well. That place, it's weird. One thing I always like about Hobstadt when I watch highlights and stuff is there's always unique people winning there because it's such a different style of racing. Like it looks like it's always greasy for one. The track looks like it's always slimy. And like I said, always unique people are winning. Like Carson Short winning an Outlaw race there this year was incredible. And no, it's awesome to watch.
Aiden Larimer asked, and congratulations on the win last night.
Absolutely, Aiden.
He said, when are you going to come and race at Merced?
Oh, Merced looks really nice. So Merced has really transitioned, it seemed like the last couple of years, into like a really, really good track. So we're going to try to make an appearance down there for a 360 show. I don't know if any of the big series, maybe SCCT goes there. So we'll try to get that on the schedule because that looks like a lot of fun. Strange Racing said, what's up? Hopefully you guys had a good weekend in Roseburg, Strange Racing. And then Caden said, Tanner, do you plan on racing Outlaw carts at Plaza Park? Caden, I would love to if it was in someone else's cart, but I hate to say it. I'm not going to be taking my own cart to Plaza Park. I just think the track's probably a little too big for carts. I mean, I give them props for trying. It's going to help grow the sport. It's cool to get to new tracks, but I think Cycland's probably about the biggest we should put an Outlaw cart on. At that point, I just think if a wreck does happen, I just don't know if the cars can withstand the hits, the speed, the flips, and I would hate to see, someone get hurt. One of our channel members, Mo9542, said Larson or Stuart. Definitely Larson. I mean, that's a no-brainer. I feel like on that one. Almost.
I feel like Larson, yeah.
But Tony has been coming on strong in sprint cars lately.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you're gonna talk about all time, Stuart for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. But by the time Larson gets to that point, I think. Who even knows what his stats will look like? Jay said, "Is Bennett coming to Kansas with you?" So Bennett's going to try it. We're going to try to get Bennett to every track that we can. Obviously, he's going to be running a Dwarf car as well. So you got to factor that schedule in. But anything we can do to, like I said, that adds on to our podcast and anything to create content, we're going to try to go wherever we can. So Jesse said, are you coming to Bristol and running with Woo? Unfortunately, I'm not. I would love to, but that's opposite ends of the country right now.
I got a question for you because I think this is kind of a different question that the fans aren't necessarily asking. So if you could choose, and it's not fast food, sit down restaurant, any sit down restaurant you could go to, where would it be?
Oh shoot, man, that's a tough one. It's okay. Here's one thing about our family. We don't eat out a whole lot. And then like, if we do, like I always say, like we're big Chick-fil-A In-N-Out people, but like probably like honestly, I like going to just a good local pizza parlor. Like that's always good. I'm a big fan of that probably. With the family or the grandparents, like that's something we always did. Or I was not a fan of this, but this is something we always did. I didn't get this. My family, we always would go to this one Chinese food place, and I'm just not a big Chinese food guy. But we do that like every holiday. It's just funny. Easter, maybe before Christmas or something. So, but definitely a good local pizza parlor for me.
Nice.
How about you?
I don't know. I think what's kind of funny is for like my birthday, for the past couple of years, we would go to Red Lobster for birthday dinner just because their biscuits are so good.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Red Lobster, like probably an Italian place.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Damien said, will you be racing in Iowa anytime soon? Yeah, Iowa's on the schedule for sure to try to get to. There's so many states right in that area. And what's cool is once you kind of get back there, you can hit so many different places like really, really quickly. And you don't have to drive as far versus like, on our way to Arizona, we went through one state, California, and it took us 13 hours. Yeah. So back there, you can really cruise through the states pretty quick.
Defuse Chronic says Knoxville has the best pizza place right across from the track. So
heck yeah. No,
when we go run there,
I'm a big pizza guy. Like, honestly, drop your guys's. I'd be interested. I mean, we're big food people. Mm-hmm. Drop your favorite food in the comment section down below, your favorite place to eat. Like I said, like after this, we'll probably go to In-N-Out or something. Like we're just we're always big into that. We would go to Chick-fil-A, but they're closed on Sundays. But respect. Tanner said, another Tanner said, are you going to the Big Sky Speedway this year? Yeah. So ASCS Frontier Region has a phenomenal schedule, which there's a good chance we'll be running with them at least for a couple weekends. So if you guys are in the Frontier Region, which is like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho, South Dakota area, definitely put it on your schedule to try to make it to a couple of those races. There's like some 3 or 4 day shows we're going to go run. So the chance at running, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is, at an all-time high for where we're at. And we don't have to even travel too far. So Karen said, it's Brady. I'm on my mom's account. I've been texting you. Want to send some stickers? Oh, absolutely. That would be great. To definitely send us some stuff. We would appreciate that.
Channel member Haley, she says, her favorite non-wing driver is AJ Hopkins. Who's your favorite non-wing?
Favorite non-wing driver to watch? Just because local, big Logan CV fan, obviously, because he came from karts. Really enjoy that. And then I would probably say like a Brady Bacon. Someone that's just really, really up on the wheel like that. Talented, fast.
I'm gonna go with T-Mez, Thomas Meserol.
Yeah, a lot of guys like T-Mez. Yeah. He's a character to watch for sure.
It seems like when Uscs running the 410 non-wing stuff, it's him and KTJ go back and forth kind of.
Oh, 100%. And I think that'll be interesting to watch. I believe they're at Bubba this Saturday night. Yep. So, or this weekend coming up. So we'll be tuned into that and see how all that goes and who comes out on top for the season opener for the USAC non-wing stuff. Oh, this is a great question. Aaron Trotter, any upcoming plans for Factory SBR?
Oh, shoot. Factory SBR.
And maybe for a second, real quick, for anybody that doesn't know. So Bennett's been creating videos lately and like your brand, Factory SBR. Talk maybe just like a little bit about, like you said, your upcoming plans and stuff.
Yeah. Like so Factory SBR pretty much is just like my race team, how we do things. We don't have the biggest budget, but our goal is just to have fun and get the race car to the track every weekend. So I think the plans for Factory SBR is to definitely race the Dwarf car as much as possible.
Yeah.
We're trying to work some out to get back an Outlaw car at Red Bluff before the season's up for a night or so. And then just Factory SBR wants to hit the road with you.
Absolutely.
So that's about it.
Absolutely. And stay tuned because possibly some merch coming soon, right?
Yeah,
we talked about
we're working on it.
Factory SBR merch. That would be super, super cool. Rival said, by the way, Bennett, the vlogs are coming on strong. Love the content, energy you're putting in. Heck yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Absolutely. Next question. Hi, Tanner. My name's Ethan. I can't wait to meet you and come back to Oklahoma. Absolutely. Hopefully we'll be back in Oklahoma this next, coming months in the summertime. And we spent a night there for at the Creek County Speedway, which we kind of struggled that night, but it was awesome to see the fan turnout. That place sold out, packed, and that was probably one of the biggest nights of racing we had.
Powell Bros Motorsports is asked, who's your biggest idol growing up?
Man, I was always a big Kyle Busch fan. That's why my number was 18. And so that was probably the biggest one, really. Other than that, like I didn't really care about watching anybody else. Like I always just rooted Kyle on. And then when I was younger, I was big into sports. So like I had my baseball players I liked watching, and my football guys. And then I don't know what happened, but like by the time I kind of got into middle school, like the sport thing started to dwindle down. And then, it was just all racing every Saturday night. So
I think now though, you got someone on the shirt.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Good. So my new favorite guy, love, is Gary V, which I've talked about him a couple times in my videos. And this one says, grateful 24/7, 365, which is one of the biggest things he talks about. But he has many different labels: motivational speaker, entrepreneur, businessman. He's worth, hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever. But you guys should definitely check him out if you need some inspiration or whatever. He talks about a lot of great things, and I literally listen to him every single day. And like I said, he talks a lot about being grateful and hustling and being humble and all those great things. So I enjoy listening to him. Someone said, yeah, I tried to make it when you're in Oklahoma. We didn't have. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, like I said, we'll be back there hopefully this next year. So maybe we'll get the chance to come out and see us, and we would love to meet you. Let's see.
Are you Cameron asks, are you gonna try to run a 410 race at Fairbury?
Oh, Fairbury. I think there's an all-star race there in June. I could be wrong. I have to look at the schedule. But there's like a stretch of races that would be really, really fun to run, I think, throughout Illinois in that area there. But Fairbury is one of those places. It's funny. So like actually now that we have it on iRacing, I'd like to see what it's like in real life, because it's kind of gnarly on iRacing. You've ran it before, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's really tight. It's really fun for midgets, but like wing cars, it's so small, trying to make anything happen. But yeah, no, we would like to get to Fairbury. That'd be a lot of fun. Rice said, Tanner, are you going to race Hobstadt? Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier. Possibly. I know they don't run a whole lot of wing stuff there, but maybe.
Brian Schmidt asked or told me to go to a 3-day show in Cortez,
Colorado.
Yeah, Colorado. I
think that's I don't know if it's a national race, but I think weren't someone telling us about that?
I'm not sure, but if you can comment actually again and tell me the exact date to that and the track, I'll go look.
Be interested. Yeah, that'd be super cool to see when that's coming out. And one thing I just want to touch on before we continue answering some more questions. Thank you to everyone for hanging out in the live chat here so far today. It's been a lot of fun. We're almost been going for an hour. And if anybody's watching, because obviously we're doing this, let us know how the Outlaw race is going. Going right now. We, like I said, we don't have Dirt Vision pulled up, but let us know how the night's going.
Double D goes quick time though on a dry slick track for qualifying.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very. Yep. Ethan said, think you'd make it to Charlotte.
Charlotte would be cool.
Charlotte would be cool. The previous couple of years, we would go like every single year to North Carolina, obviously to run Outlaw carts. And we would get the chance to go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the All-Star race, because it was all right around that time. But as that Outlaw kart race kind of faded away, we obviously have stopped going. And then the pandemic last year pretty much halted all that. So I haven't been to North Carolina in a couple of years. And it's kind of sad because it's such a fun trip. But it's just one of those things, I guess, comes and goes, and, on to the next adventure.
Wretched Brand asked me what's my favorite race car.
Oh, yeah?
And I'm always a big like asphalt kind of fan, like watching like cup cars and stuff. But I think after Arizona, a 410 sprint car just takes the cake.
Absolutely.
It's so sick.
Absolutely. If you've never been to a 410 race, you got to get to one. They're unbelievable. Grayson said, thanks for wearing my shirt in your last podcast. We'll send Bennett one too. Yeah. Absolutely. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Enjoyed wearing it. And I just wanted to say, Grayson, I don't know if I said it in my video, but like you have one of the coolest shirts I've ever seen for a racer. Like the color combo, everything spectacular. Yeah. 10 out of 10 thumbs up on that one. So Sam said, have you ever met Jack Hodenshield? I have not. That's one of the guys I would love to meet though. Incredible race car driver. I can only imagine the amount of stories he has about everything he's done and the incredible talent that he is. So in his farewell tour this year, hopefully he puts on a show for all the fans. Randy said, you coming back to the Hockett this year? Yes, so that's the plan. The Hocket was a lot of fun. We got to make a couple things. Yeah, we got to kind of get some redemption after last year, but we had a lot of good speed. I think it was more of a night number one for us went so rough that it put us so far behind the 8 ball, and then night number two is much better. So I think this year at the Hocket, we can definitely, hopefully show that we have the speed to run up front with the best.
Bubba Wallace fan asks you, what's your favorite kind of music?
Oh, okay. This is funny. I talk about this. But you guys can call me crazy. I don't listen to a whole lot of music, believe it or not. I'm much more like if I have to listen to something in the background, all I do is listen to podcasts. Dead serious. Like I'm the biggest podcast guy you'll meet, or motivational speaker, like I said, like the Gary V type stuff. I literally listen to that all day. I hate to say it. I could care less really to listen to a whole lot of music. Maybe like on our road trip home last night we were. But like when I'm by myself, I usually don't. I'm just big podcast stuff, and I'll listen to that all day if I'm driving, working, whatever. Let's see. Hayden Play said, "Have you ever met Tony Stewart?" I did once at Calistoga. So that was cool. And then we obviously got that video recently of Brandon, our buddy, going up to Tony and getting him to wish my dad a happy birthday on video. So that was kind of unique. That was pretty cool. We enjoyed that. Ethan said Eldora this year. That's a possibility. Eldora would be a lot of fun. That place, the Big E, is always a unique racetrack to get to go to. Emma said, love your videos. How many kart races are you planning on going to this year? So if I had to add it up, I'd probably say Red Bluff in total, does about 13 or 14 races a year. You add in Roseburg a couple times. You add in Cycleland a couple times. So I'd probably say 20 kart races a year we probably run.
I have a question for you. Did Red Bluff just add, I think they added the Vern Wheeler Senior Memorial?
They did. I think they just added it on one of the points races.
Okay.
Though.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, I don't think it added to, I'd have to check, but I don't think, So, which is cool. Red Bluff has a lot of high paying races this year too.
Yeah.
That race is going to pay $1,500 to win. Or no, maybe that race is going to pay $2,100 to win, but it doesn't pay as good down. But then like this next weekend, Perpetual Trophy Night, $1,500 to win. I believe $750 for second, $500 for third, whatever it is. It's a phenomenal payout. So maybe we picked the wrong weekend to win. We got to double it up next weekend.
Next weekend for sure.
Someone said, hi, my name is Sawyer. Can you please shout out my friend Races Juniors broke his femur bone. Sorry to hear about that, man. Shout out to him. Hopefully he gets better, man. I know that's really, really tough. Fortunate enough, I've never really been injured in a race car, but it's so easy to have something happen in
well, not only sport. That, but like just outside of racing.
Yeah.
Like people don't realize if you make the wrong move, like just being mistakes, like maybe you're skiing or something, you go down, that kind of ends your season, half of it at least.
Absolutely. So. Yeah. If you really think about it, anything can happen that can be detrimental to the season. Karsten said, come to Thunderhill. Thunderhill looks like a neat track in Wisconsin. Hopefully we can get there eventually. One of our channel members, Haley, put AJ Hopkins got 3 season championship titles in 2020 at Paragon, Lincoln Park, and Bloomington. That's pretty incredible. If you're winning 3 championships a season, you're definitely doing something right.
Hayden says, have you ever been to I-44 Speedway?
I never have, but that's another unique bull ring. It does look like a lot of fun. That's one of those places we need to get to. BJ said, did you watch Hunt the Front at East Bay? I got a chance to watch some of the highlights. I need to go back and watch it all, but let us know how they did. Honestly, like I said, I didn't get to see the result, but I think I saw one night. Maybe they got in an incident with a lap car or something. But I know those guys were ripping. And East Bay is another track that looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, East Bay looks cool.
Well, doesn't East Bay get tacky as the night goes on?
It looks like it. I don't know.
I think in the interview they're saying the track gets tackier.
It probably does. I don't know. With the ocean and everything probably being close. Obviously, I've never been there, but I know kind of sometimes the tide affects the track, and maybe just how it is in Florida. With humidity or anything like that. Nick said, "Do you have a new sprint car shop? You have." So how that is, we kind of explained it. So it's just at my parents' work. So where they have their works for all their trucks and stuff, it just kind of sits there. It's safe. That's kind of where our podcast studio is. And I'll eventually be able to give you guys a whole tour on that. We're still figuring out a couple of bugs for the whole situation and getting everything placed in the right spot. But I will not leave you guys hanging on that.
Yeah.
Brian said, there are a lot of races at the Cortez Speedway, and that race is September 24th, 25th, and 26th in Colorado. Dwarf cars and mod lights together. So
that's a lot.
That is cool though. 3 nights of racing. Colorado is a long ways to go, but
I think we might have to put on the schedule though.
How much does it pay to win? Let us know. That would be kind of cool. Jesse said, "Do you like F1?" I hate to say it. I've never given F1 a shot, but like I'm not really interested in a lot of other forms of racing. Like they're cool, but I don't really watch F1. I can't really get into it. I don't know what it is.
I think the only racing that I watch, it's I don't really watch them, but I follow them, and I want to race this series. It's called Formula E.
Oh, really?
They're like they're like electric Formula One cars.
Gotcha.
And I think it'd be fun because like watching the videos and the highlights, some of the drivers get kind of pissed easy.
Yeah.
And if I'm some dirt guy coming in there, we might be able to pull some races off. And because no one gives anyone the door. So I'm like, why don't you just door the guy? I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Diffuses, how do you think of a good paint scheme? I can't find a good place to start. So for schemes, I'm not a designer. So what we do is we like go to our designer. Like I have a friend, and if you would like him to do something for you, send me a message. But like I have my designer, and then he has these designers have templates, right? And then they can just start doing the design work. So it's really hard to come up with your own paint scheme, especially if you don't have experience with like how to put things together and shapes and colors and stuff. That's not my cup of tea. So I leave that to the experts.
Yeah, typically if you just provide the colors you want and your sponsors, they kind of do the work.
Oh, they can do everything. They have all the software and everything that you could even imagine. They can do anything you need for the car. Let's see.
Oh, Emma Davis asks, what's our favorite NASCAR tracks?
NASCAR tracks, probably, well, it's hard to say. I'd say Auto Club or Bristol.
Yeah.
But Auto Club's obviously not really a thing anymore. So
I think one of our new ones is Dover.
Dover's pretty cool. The Monster Mile, it doesn't get much better than and one thing to say about Dover, one of the coolest trophies I've ever seen. I mean, they have the Monster Mile on there and everything.
Well, one of the cool things about Dover, like when I race on iRacing on there, is a lot of people don't get this, is it's on concrete.
Yeah.
So when you gas it up on a restart, if you're on scuffs, you'll spin the tires.
Yeah.
It's so bad for the slaps and C class that I always race with, but they always spin in the tires. But if you can master not to spin the tires, but actually get a run off that corner, it's so fast.
It's insane. This is a cool comment from Ian. He put, "Hey guys, I've had you both on the podcast, the Bench Racing podcast.
Yeah.
Just recently had Bennett on. He had me myself on a couple weeks ago. And he put, at Knoxville, sometimes I'm going to have an event for previous guests. You want to come?" Absolutely. Bennett actually brought this up because he sent you a message on this. Ian, we would definitely be interested. Put us on the list. If we're going to be in the area, we'd love to join. Yeah. Damien said, "Would you design my graphics for my race car?" Unfortunately, I don't have that experience. Like I said, I have a designer kind of take care of that. And that's not my cup of tea.
The only graphic design we've done is a tape job on Carly's.
Yeah, only on Carly's, the 18TC. And you guys need to go check that out if you don't know what we're talking about. Let's see. We Do It Best says, "Can you do a fan mail soon? I'd love to have." I think we're going to try to do some fan mail soon. I mentioned earlier, I honestly, I forgot about it. And I kind of got a little pile going.
The official asks, have you ever seen Lemoore Speedway?
Yeah, Lemoore down in California. I have a bunch of micro friends that run there. And I think that's the biggest micro track in California. It's decent size, pretty wide, pretty slick. Man, that'd be fun to run a micro there for sure. Jesse said, "Formula E is amazing, but they sound horrible." Honestly,
I'll agree with that.
I've never heard them, so I can't comment.
Yeah, they just sound like a high buzz, and they don't sound good at all. But they race good, and I think they race good. It's because they're like pretty limited to like the same power and stuff. So
everyone kind of has like a similar package.
Yeah, that's what I think.
That makes sense.
They're technical tracks.
The Instigator Racing said, "If you come to Humble, I would let you hot lap my USARA tuner, or might even let you drive it the whole night. Who knows? Oh, we might be pulling trip. We might be doing double duty, or Bennett's hopping in the deal."
Yeah.
And
actually, to mention on that, All-Stars at Screven's a couple nights ago. I don't know what the series they called it there, because everywhere, I call them Hornets. Everywhere has a different name for them. But the Hornets racing there were awesome, dude. They're running like 4-3, 4 wide, and the announcer just going nuts. I need to find out who the guy was, because he's definitely in the top 3. One of my favorite announcers. That was incredible watching that. Outdoor Racer said, "Tanner, would you race at 34 Raceway?" Absolutely. 34. I believe that's the one in Burlington, Iowa. That looks like a great track. Emma Davis said, "Bennett and Tanner, what's your favorite?" Oh, we already answered that. Sorry. Favorite NASCAR track. Blue Phoenix asked me, they mentioned that my family was in NASCAR once. So yeah, that's true. We were no drivers or anything, but my dad actually was on a truck team for Steve Park, Brendan Gaughan, I think, and then someone else. I don't remember who it was exactly, but we're super close friends with the Gaughan family, and he got the opportunity to go pit for Steve Park and be a tire catcher on the pit team, on the pit crew.
That's so cool. NASCAR boy said, my quarter midget is going to be number 18T, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to put your name on it, and you're my favorite sprint car driver. Man, thank you so much.
Throwback
we appreciate
team.
it.
T. Holmes throwback
we appreciate that. That's so neat. Make sure to send me pictures, email me, Instagram, text line, whatever you got to do. Dalton said, I just love to see people's faces when I get on my late model because I stand 7'5". That's pretty tall.
Yeah.
If you're 7'5", that's insane. Let's see.
I'm 6'3", and I struggle getting in the Dwarf car.
Yeah, shoot, that's insane. Quinn said, my 125cc is so much fun. Yeah, so 125s aren't really around too much anymore in karts. Maybe you're talking about a dirt bike or something, but I remember back in the day when the 125 class was a big deal, and like I think that was probably a little before you moved up from box stock to 250, because you went straight to 250, right?
250s, yeah.
Yeah, I know at one point there were some guys locally here that did run some 125 stuff.
And I think there's some guys that still mess with the 252 strokes. And I don't know if I've ever seen any be like super competitive at Red Bluff, but
yeah, not at Red Bluff. Cycling, a couple people have made it work, but it's kind of hit or miss. It really, really is. Emma Davis said, what's your dream race car? I think we could both agree. Baja 1000, trophy truck stuff. Yeah. That would be so much fun.
The race for sure. That's our bucket list race right there.
Absolutely.
And I think me and Tanner were talking about this someday in the future. This might be a one and only vlog, because if we get caught doing it, we're going to jail. How about the cannonball run?
Yeah, we were joking about that on the drive home tonight. You know more about it. Maybe explain it for 1 second.
So what it is like you make a run from, I think, New York to LA, and someone actually broke the real world record last year during COVID because there's less people on the road. But you have to do it in like a certain amount of time, or like you have to beat the previous record time. And I think it's like 34 hours.
Yeah. That's
from New York to LA. And I think their average moving speed was 110 miles an hour or something like that.
That's crazy.
So, I don't know. That would be super. That'd be like kind of a cool vlog, but like obviously, it's not safe to do that, or you don't want to break any laws. But
Jesse said, do you sell youth sized hats? So I have snapback hats, which fits everyone. So, if you have a larger head or you have a smaller head, for a younger person, definitely all of our hats fit all. But we only carry snapback. Those are my favorite personally. Let's see.
Who does your paint jobs on your car?
So we have a couple different people. We've had a couple of different people do graphic stuff. This last one was from Roger Crockett Designs in let's see, Oklahoma.
Yeah, so your Outlaw cart stuff's cool.
Outlaw cart stuff's cool. They just have all the QRC takes care of that. So the designs on there, I believe American Ink, which they're like right across the street from actually QRC carts. They're like a vinyl printing shop and stickers and all that. And they print it. And then Jimmy, the car owner, owns QRC. He lays all the vinyl. And then Brandon LaChance, a couple of the other employees at QRC, they obviously do that as well. So they kind of take care of their own operation. They're really good at that. I am not very good at laying vinyl. I will tell you that right now.
I see a comment on that screen. It says from the official, would you ever try a dragster?
Oh yeah, so this is funny. Tell them about this, because we might have something cool coming up.
So nothing's official yet, but we've got something in the works where we might have the opportunity to learn about heads up drag racing.
Yes,
and then actually take some passes in a dragster that does, I think, about 150. So
that's pretty gnarly. That's insane.
So we're still talking to the guy to make sure, try to get all the bugs worked out on the deal. And
absolutely.
I think if it happens, it'll happen within the next month or so. And
that would be some pretty insane content.
Our first time making 150 mile an hour passes.
Yeah. I think it's funny. We were joking like, okay, if this happens, what's the scarier part? Like not really a speed, or like thinking about like, how is it easy to keep it straight?
Yeah.
Is it easy to like get the wobbles? Like how does it?
Well, it's like, shoot, I could drive someone's like yard cart and I don't want to wreck it. Imagine getting in this
dragster,
super expensive dragster, and making 150 mile an hour pass.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It'll be fun though.
That's crazy. Jason Alexander, this is a unique question. I don't think anyone's asked me this. What's the farthest you've shipped merch? The two farthest, New Zealand and Australia. I can't tell you exactly where in Australia would be the farthest, but I'm pretty sure we've shipped to just about every, I guess, I don't know. Do you call them states there in Australia? There's like the different sections. But yeah, we've shipped to New Zealand. We've shipped to Australia. The ones I can remember, the recent one was, I believe, it was in New South Wales, I think was one of our recent orders, but we can ship anywhere internationally. I know we even have some fans. I don't know anybody right now necessarily in the chat. Maybe drop it if you are, but we have some fans in the Netherlands, the UK area, and then our friends over in Canada, right north of the border of us, and then definitely over in Australia, New Zealand. And it would be awesome to get a chance to do a little tour and get to see some different parts of the world and race over there. Oh, someone asked, is Carly gonna start a YouTube channel? So that's one thing we've talked about. So I really want Carly, I brought up the idea if she would like to. But right now I think Carly's kind of just content with doing the racing thing. She loves being in the videos, but I don't necessarily know if she's ready to start making videos. I think as she maybe gets a little older, she might eventually want to, but just right now, she's got a lot of other things going on. Just with school, she's obviously in high school. She's doing that. She's trying to get good grades, try to race. She's also very athletic. So I don't know if a YouTube channel is something she's necessarily going to start up within the next year, but maybe as she gets older, maybe 16, 17, she's like, all right, let's give this a shot. So we'll have to see, possibly.
Osborne has a question for you. Your sponsor, Next Gen.
Yes.
Is that a regional or national company? And what is Next Gen?
So that is actually a national company, and they're kind of based towards the Portland area, and they actually work hand in hand kind of with Carson, which is also on the car. And they do different things with like petroleum and whatnot. Like I said, in different parts of the United States, but they're right there in Portland. So technically, even though they are much larger, at least they're close in the state of Oregon, which is always really, really neat to have. Nick said, did you get your new trailer custom built? No. Well, I don't know if the previous owner did. So we just bought it from someone else. It's I think it's like a 2011, the year of the trailer, but we got it on a good deal, and we actually bought it from someone in the Midwest. So we didn't get it. It's not brand new, but it's obviously a very nice piece. Jason Alexander, how much have you won in a race? So I think the most amount of money I've ever won for one race, honestly, I haven't won a lot of big pain races, maybe like $1,500 or $2,000, which is obviously a good night. In Outlaw carts, there's a couple $1,000 twin shows we've had, but never any of the big ones that are like $5,000 or $2,500 or something like that.
I think the biggest race I've won is like, or the most amount probably is the Ironman.
Yeah.
1 hour to win.
It's like $500 to win or something.
This is like 5 or 6 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Which was pretty crazy. That was definitely a race to remember. I think, guys, we're going to kind of start wrapping this up here towards the end. Send in your last couple of questions. We've had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys here on the live Q&A. We were joking. We're like, all right, we're going to wake up, do this live, and then we're going to go back to bed. Yeah. No, we're having fun, though. And I think the parents are cooking some stuff for Super Bowl. We'll probably watch that a little bit, prepare tomorrow's video. But it's been a lot of fun. We have some stuff we're going to be doing for the channel members here on the YouTube channel as well. Get some stuff prepared for the podcast to shoot this week and other content to just bring to all of our channels. Let's see. Someone said, would you rather run the Tuscarora 50 at Port or the Natty Open at Grove? Definitely the Tuscarora 50. I think Port race is better than Grove, but Williams Grove would just be cool just to be at Williams Grove. The legend of that place. How crazy it is.
When's Joey Woods asked when's your next race? And I'm assuming sprint car wise.
Oh, okay. Sprint car stuff will be the end of March. So we'll run at the end of March. We'll do some fun stuff there. I can't tell you exact track yet because, man, the West Coast, schedules are coming out, but things are changing like left and right. So I don't really know what the season's really going to look like, but probably Skagit will be early on in the season, maybe Cottage Grove, maybe some stuff south. I don't really know yet. So we will get it all figured out. Let's see. Oh, Brian said he doesn't really know how much Cortez pays, but it might be like $300 to $400 a night. Gotcha. Thank you for the information, Brian. Okay, guys, I think that's going to kind of end it here for today. Thank you to everyone. Sorry if we did not get to your question. We did our best to try to answer. There's a ton of people in the chat. We love you guys. And if you did not get your questions answered, but you want to message me personally, sign up for our text line, 541-930-1822. Send me a text. I'm going to be going through responding to everyone. I'm sure it's blowing up in the other room right now as we're live. But what a phenomenal week we had. A lot of fun content coming to the channel. A new podcast Wednesday. Carly's going to have some video stuff here as well. And just a lot of fun. So yeah, we're going to kind of end it there. Thank you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend Sunday. And we'll see you with tomorrow's video at Red Bluff.
Yep. Thank you.